Good morning and welcome. You should be able to hear me. I'm not sure why you can't see me. There we go. Good morning and welcome to another episode of This Week in Digital Parenting with me, Joshua Ramsey. I am looking forward to today's show, and I have managed to dig into the world of TikTok. That's what we're talking about today. We're talking about social media, and in particular, we're talking about TikTok. And I think so many of the resources I saw online for parents about TikTok were actually just articles and screenshots, and they didn't actually give parents the kind of information that they need to make a decision about whether TikTok is okay or not for their kids. So what I've done in this video is that I've peeled back the layers. I've created some screen grabs of myself interacting on TikTok so that you can actually see what I'm talking about and make a decision as an informed parent. And that's really what will make the biggest difference, is the fact that you're informed or not. So when your children come to you and say, hey, I want to use TikTok, and they're at different ages, you can say, well, this is what I'm concerned about. This is what I think about it. So we're going to jump into that in a little bit and hopefully have some time at the end for one or two questions that we got in through our various channels. Remember, please send in questions via WhatsApp and via email, and those details are below us on the screen, just below us if you're on our www.beintouch.org/.za/live, and if you're on YouTube, just head over to that web address and you will see the details there. Okay, let's jump straight in because we don't have that much time. So now, when I was checking out TikTok, so they self-proclaim that they are 13 and above, and I thought that was interesting given what I saw, and I'll show you what I saw. But their mission, they say, is to inspire creativity and bring joy. And they talk a lot about expressing yourself authentically. And this is something that I think I have a bit of an issue with when it comes to TikTok, because I think the concept of authenticity is something that social media platforms struggle with, and TikTok is not exempt from that. I'm going to contrast that with a very exciting platform that we are bringing into South Africa through some contacts that I made while I was in Dubai earlier this year, attending an e-safety summit. And I will also be peeling back the layers there so that you can have a look at this other social media platform called GoBubble. But more on that in a moment. So in my research into TikTok, I did what any other child would do. I downloaded the app on my phone. So let's say your child somehow managed to do that, or through a parent that wasn't really thinking and gave their thumbprint. I signed up as a 12 or a 13-year-old, so the youngest possible age that I could be accepted onto the platform. And I started scrolling through. So within the first 5 videos, none of which were children in the videos themselves. They were all, it looked to be 17, 18 and above. So, much more oriented towards adults. And in the first 5 videos, I heard 2, F-bombs, swear words. And within the first 10, I'd already seen a video that was quite sexual in nature and was referring to acts of a sexual nature. So again, this goes back to what I was talking about last week in terms of what are the values that you want your child to be growing up with. Values are things that do not come naturally to us as human beings. We need to be instilled with these values. You need to help your child develop character. And seeing as though from about the age of 10 onwards, our children are desperate. They're like, what is going on in the world? What are people like? What is it like to grow up? And they have expectations. And as an adult, as their parent, you can inform those expectations. You can say, look at me, look at my friends, look at how I'm living my life, look at this movie that we're watching together. These are the kinds of things you can expect from reality. And when I do talks in school about pornography and sexuality, this is the big piece of this is the big piece that comes back to me from students, that they are so happy to understand that what they had expected from relationships and sexuality is so often just a fantasy. And we're going to touch into that when it comes to TikTok. So, as again, I said, TikTok purports to be somewhere that is about inspiring creativity, and there is a lot of creativity, which is great. But I think unless you have those values guiding how you are creative, you can really fall into this very inauthentic space, which is what we're going to explore as I peel back the layers on TikTok. So why don't we jump straight into that, and then and a small caveat is that I'm not saying that we shouldn't use TikTok. I think given the age appropriateness of your children and some of the guidelines that I'm going to give you, there are ways in which you can minimize the negative effect of some of the content that your children will see on TikTok. But again, you need to make that decision once you've assessed the content that your child is going to see. So I'll show you some of the content that your child will see. Okay, so if we have a look here, we're going straight into some of the content on TikTok. You should be able to see the screen on my left, and that screen is basically playing some videos from TikTok. I've turned off the sound, but we're going to jump into that right now in a moment. So let's just click pause there. And there we go. Okay, so I'm going to turn up the volume on this for the moment so that you can hear what language is being used. And from that, I think you will very quickly get an idea of the kind of language that is being used. So just want to make sure it's all sorted. So there you go, you should be hearing some sound there. Obviously, quite a bit of swearing. Here, more South African content. Right, so just in those two short little videos, and that is, I don't know if you noticed, but in the top of the screen, on the screen capture that I have there, it actually says, and I'll show you just over here, it says restricted mode. And that restricted mode is something I'm going to show you how to turn on here. But even with restricted mode on, you're still going to see inappropriate content. You're still going to hear inappropriate language for your child if they are a younger one. So what I'd like to do now is, hopefully just in that little bit of video footage, you've realized that if you are wanting to allow your child onto TikTok, you need to be changing some of the settings. And there are three particular settings that I think are worth changing. So the first one is that you can actually set some screen time limits for your child. I think TikTok has kind of missed the boat on this one because their minimum setting is kind of 40 minutes. So, you know, if you're a parent that wants to limit that more than 40 minutes, you can't really do that. The next one is turning off direct messages and influencing who can comment and see your child's platform. I'll show you how to get into those settings. And then, of course, the last one is this restricted mode that I've spoken about here. But as you can see, it has limited efficiency. The best possible response, I think, that parents can have to children that are desperate to be on TikTok, and if you as a parent have decided that's okay, is something called family pairing, where your parent's device and your child's device are linked, and you can actually see all content that your child is producing. And of course, that means that they know that you're in there watching over them. So very simply, to change the screen time here, I go into digital well-being, I hit screen time, I can turn it on and set a code, And with that code, my child is now limited in terms of their access to how much they can consume. That's obviously, you would set that on their device once they've installed TikTok on their phone. So the next thing we're going to have a look at is setting restrictions, or the restricted mode. So again, you're going into digital well-being, and then from there, turning on restricted mode. Oh, sorry, that's family pairing. Okay, so turning on family pairing here, this is probably the best one that I'd suggest for you, is that you would have the app on your phone, your child would have it on theirs, and you click on your parent app, and from that you will get a way to link it across, so you accept their terms, and then you need to log into your child's phone and scan the QR code using your phone, and that will link the two accounts together. And there you can see that's how
so here we are.
the QR code scanner would work. So the final thing that I want to show you with TikTok is basically what happens with their editing technology that they have built into the app. So if we have a look at the following video, and I'm just going to turn down the volume of myself talking, but basically what I'm doing in this video is that I'm showing you this is what TikTok looks like when you're creating a TikTok. And on that, you can select beautify. And in the beautify, you can change the smoothness, so that takes care of any wrinkles on the face. You can set the contrast to change the way your skin tone looks. And you can even change the whitening of your teeth if you need that as well. But what I'm most concerned about is the next two options. So if you have a look at the next one, it says nose. And what you can actually do, and maybe you just need to pause it there for a second, is, let's see if I can bring my head a little bit closer. So here's my nose. And there you can see my nose is quite a lot thinner. So you actually can change the width of your nose. And then the other one that you can do is actually the shape of your jaw. So if you have a look at when I go to the next option, the shape of your jaw can be changed to give you a very narrow jaw, or moving it over to the left, a very big jaw. And this really speaks directly into the issue I have with a platform purporting authenticity. So that's what they say. It's in their value statements, in their mission statement. We are here to help children express themselves. Well, not children, let's be honest, it's an adult's platform. But they say that we are here to help you express your authenticity. And however, built into the very way in which you create that content is this ability to create a fantastical version of yourself, which can be very frustrating for children, because if they watch content and they start to expect that this is how they are supposed to be seen and experienced out in the world, it can create a lot of confusion and frustration and anxiety when they look in the mirror and they don't look like the images and the videos that they're seeing online. So of all the aspects of TikTok, content definitely being something that is a flag in terms of the values that your child will be picking up. I would say this ability to edit yourself is a bit concerning. So you've got contouring, you've got lipstick that you can put on digitally, and by the end of me applying all these various filters, I'm starting to look a lot less like myself and a lot more like a cartoon character, or some form of entertainment being, or mutant entertainment mutant. So here is where I want to talk to you about an alternative, and we are very, very excited about this platform. It's called GoBubble, and it is a safer, kinder, and healthier social media. That gentleman in the video, that if you go to this home screen, which is gobubble.school, and you'll have a look, and there's a video there from Henry, a friend of mine who created the content or created the platform along with his team. And it is built to be a kinder, safer, healthier environment for children to interact. It's designed specifically for under 13s and is available for teachers, and it's free. It's available for teachers and parents. And it is a great space where you can get really authentic interactions with between children, especially in this time now of social distancing. So as it says here, GoBubble is helping children stay safe and in touch with friends, stay in touch with friends in total safety, helping schools and parents avoid digital safeguarding risks. And it's actually the second project that Henry has worked on. He's got another one called eCadets, which we'll be talking about in the weeks to come. And if we have a look at what parents are saying about it, brings digital citizenship alive. And I think this is so crucial. There's so much emphasis at the moment about teaching children digital citizenship skills. And what that generally looks like is that the children either attend a talk by someone like me or they watch a video online. But I think it becomes quite conceptual unless they actually have an opportunity to interact with a digital platform and learn what digital citizenship looks like. And this is exactly what GoBubble does. It brings it alive. It's a fantastic way in which your children can interact and, almost like social media with training wheels, start to learn what is appropriate and not. So here I am, I'm logging in to the platform to give you a little bit of a behind the scenes. And what's really great, and what you notice off the bat, is that there's no publicly accessible point of access. So there's no way that you can just go to GoBubble and start looking at children's accounts and start seeing what they're posting. Everything is based in these groups. So in mine, you can see my list, my school, top picks for me, trending now. And at the bottom, you can see that there is if you look at the bottom of the screen, there's a little home page, there's my friends, there's a create button, there's a group button, and a chat button. So it looks very much like how children would expect a social media platform to look. In fact, if you go side by side with TikTok, it's a very similar interface, and that's just expected now. So here you can see that I put up a post this morning. Good morning, everyone. There's Henry himself, creating a little bit of a fun sticker on his head. So there's lots of ways in which children can do certain levels of editing on the platform, but it's not this kind of fake, heavily filtered interaction level. So children are just able to add little stickers or emojis to bring their touch to the image or the video that they want to upload. And so you might be asking, well, how is this safer? And the reason that it's safer is that there's an algorithm that is monitoring all of the content that goes onto this platform. So that means if there's a swear word, or if there's a reference to depression, or some harmful behavior that's going on, that'll all be flagged by the algorithm itself. And then depending on the severity of the flag, that will get escalated to either a teacher, so myself if it's one of my students, or out to one of the moderators that are consistently watching the platform itself. So there is some human oversight to how the algorithm is monitoring content as well. So here we've got some partnerships with some football players who are creating content to inspire the kids to go and try something, to go and try and do something. And that's really so important on social media platforms for children. The feedback that I get from parents is that it's all good and well to put, your 5-10-year-olds into a WhatsApp group call chat, but it's kind of chaos. The children are talking over each other. They're not listening. They don't even know what to talk about. They don't know what to say. They're trying to show each other their pets. So what's great about GoBubble is that it has these daily challenges and ways for children to kind of have a scaffold around which they can communicate with each other. So here we see one of the digital challenges, the GoBubble calendar, where they're talking about things that the children can do. So here we're talking about you're the teacher, teach us something. Make a video or take a photo of something that you care about, write about it, and post that into your classroom group. So there's some posts from some of my students. We're busy running a pilot group, which is going well. And again, here another challenge, design a t-shirt for the platform itself. So we're wanting children to learn what it is to send each other's messages, to check up on each other, and it's wonderful to see all the communication that happens between students on the platform. That once they're given that platform, they can then go wild, knowing that they are in a safer space, and they can develop those relationships themselves, which is really, really wonderful. So if you are a parent and you're interested in GoBubble, please ask your teacher to get in touch with us or to get in touch with GoBubble directly. And you can simply do that by going to gobubble.school, and you can from there, get your school signed up. It's free for schools, and and what I really love about it is that it offers the opportunity for school classrooms to interact together. So for example, here you can see my friends, Miss Peg, Wambul Moiga, who is a teacher from Kenya. There's a teacher from the UK on my list there, and from the United Arab Emirates. So I can check in with how their children are doing, what resources they're using to help their children in this lockdown time. And so in every way, shape, and form, it is helping us as educators create this kind of safe space for children online. And that's really exciting. One of the other things I love about it is the fact that it gamifies kindness. So it not only do you get rewarded for the likes that you give? So it's not about the likes you get. The children are actually rewarded for the likes that they give, and that unlocks more stickers and more interactions in the platform itself. So it is helping our children learn how to be positive digital citizens, and that is so fantastic, and why one of the reasons I'm so excited about it. So here there's a channel all about pets, and people can vote on their favorite pet or watch videos of animals running around, all very, very appropriate content that can stimulate thinking, that can stimulate conversation. And as I said, this is the mobile view, and I want to just give you just a little insight for the teachers out there into what it looks like on the desktop view, because that's really where you're going to be able to get a lot of insight into how your students are interacting. So if we have a look here, you can see that we can interact with what content is on the platform, what has been in the space. There's analytics behind who's using it the most and what they're using it for. And all in all, it's a really great space to check out how your school is doing, how your classes are doing, and what you want to do with them. If you have a look here, Safer Internet Day, you've got a group specifically created for Safer Internet Day, 5 classroom discussion conversation starters for Safer Internet Day. And that's the kind of practical thing that I love about this platform. So it's really, really wonderful. And with that in mind, I want to again just encourage you as parents to ask your teachers, ask your schools to really give you feedback on what it is that they are doing to help your children become digital citizens. And as much as possible, trying to push them towards practical solutions where your children are actually learning through doing. We know that children learn through doing. And in this time, it's really just not realistic anymore to think that we can completely shut our children off from screens and from social media. Studies that were done overseas revealed that up to 78% of children are on social media anyway. And these are all social media, as I've just shown you in this video, that are not designed for children. They are not designed for your 10-year-old, your 9-year-old, your 12-year-old in mind. And the content that they will have access to will alter their values. And as a parent, it is your responsibility to ensure that you are setting those values and handing them over from yourselves to your children. So thank you so much for joining me this week. It does look like we've got a little bit of time left to talk about some questions, and I'm going to just double check on the YouTube stream to see if there's any questions there, and then let's do this one here that was sent in. My 14-year-old gamer son insists that he's developing fast twitch muscles and strategic thinking, and that these skills will help him later in life. Is it true? So there can be an argument for the skills that children develop through gaming. However, I think it's a little bit of a smokescreen, because in reality, if your child is spending a lot of time on their devices gaming every single day, and we've touched on this in other videos, but I'd say the top 3 reasons why that's a bad idea is that it's going to change the prioritization of memories in terms of your child's learning. It's going to flood and drought their hormonal system, because that adrenaline, that dopamine that they get hits of will literally start to alter the shape of their brain, the neural structures in their brain. And the third one, which I think is so crucial, is that so much of our ability to realize our goals is based on our grit, our perseverance. How well can we persevere and keep our heads at something that we're not enjoying doing? And you have to know that games are designed to make you feel good. Not only in terms of the hormones that they release when you play them, but also in terms of your feeling of self-mastery. So games will, and some of them do it in a very kind of underground way, in that they'll kind of change the difficulty of the game depending on how many times you're dying or how many times you've tried, and you might not even have selected that option to reduce the difficulty. But in essence, games are designed to make you feel good, and very few of them actually make you work very hard for the goal that you're wanting to achieve, because the developer knows that if you get too bored, you're going to turn off their game and you're not going to use their product, which is not good for them. So they make it just hard enough that you'll try and you'll kind of succeed most of the time. And so I think that is one of the biggest distortions that we leave children with when they just game without any oversight from parents, is that they lose the ability they lose the ability to stick at things that they need to be working through, and they lose the ability to persevere. So I hope that answers your question, and please feel free to send in additional questions as we continue to explore the answers that are going to be useful for you. Thank you for joining us on This Week in Digital Parenting, and please have a look at gobubble.school. Send the link to your teachers, sign your schools up. It is a free service, and it's an exciting one that we're looking forward to bringing into South Africa. If you are wanting to use TikTok and you decide that actually it's okay for your child, for whatever reason that you as a parent do decide, please have a look over there in our on my left on our www.beintouch.org.za/live. I have put a link under the 3 big ideas to the TikTok Parents Guide, and it is quite good in terms of helping you set up those restrictions, set up family pairing, and limit the comments and accessibility of your child's platform. So that's it for This Week in Digital Parenting. We're looking forward to seeing you next week, and if you want to watch again, we're live tonight at 7 p.m. Have a wonderful day.